Okay, so today we're gonna try the Ford autopilot system on the Mach-e with Ryan from the Kilowatts, and I'm not quite sure what it's called, but Ryan's gonna correct me. So let's go check it out. Woo!
How's it going?
What's up, dude?
Let's go.
Awesome. How do you?
I gotta unlock it.
All right. How you doing, man?
Good, how are you?
All right. What is Ford's autopilot equivalent, quote unquote, called?
So it will be effectively CoPilot. Well, it is. The package is CoPilot360. That is like
co-pilot360.
Yes.
And is that like full self-driving or?
It is not. So they are coming out with Blue Cruise, which is like their hands-free driving.
When is that supposed to come out?
Q3 of this year.
But there's nothing else out there right now.
So right now, this will do lane keep and adaptive cruise control.
Will it change lanes for you?
It will not. So like I've been comparing it to like AP1 hardware or even like the early autopilot without enhanced autopilot without FSD. That's kind of more what it's comparable to.
What percent of the time do you say you use it when you're driving this car?
On the highway, I use it probably 60 or 70% versus in my Teslas, I would use autopilot or FSD. I use it like 90%. Even when I'm not on the freeway, I use autopilot almost consistently.
I definitely do that too.
Yeah. So the reality is this car so far is just not as good as keeping its lane, and it doesn't adapt speeds to corners. That's
really?
Not yet. It will, but that's coming with Blue Cruise, where it'll actually adapt to corners. Right now, if you're going 75 down the freeway and it's got a sharp turn, reasonably you should slow down to 55. Right now, this will not. You have to do it manually.
Wow, that's kind of scary. Is this using cameras only?
It is. I believe it's using cameras and radar.
Okay.
There are 2 cameras looking forward, 2 on the sides, and 1 facing the rear, kind of like, again, autopilot 1 hardware. Autopilot 1
Could you engage it right now in this area?
We can try.
Whoa, okay. It's going really close to that car.
Yep, too close.
Did somebody honk
That
for
was
us?
That was a different person honking.
I don't know. I think they're honking for us.
No, it's the guy on the left. He's upset this guy's not going.
Okay. Yeah, there's like no visualization really, right, for when you're in autopilot?
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. I've not even actually thought to call that out, but you're right. So my visualization is just here on the instrument cluster, and it's just a couple bubbles. They don't really show you the cars around you. You don't know what the car is seeing.
Right.
Unlike Tesla, where they kind of indicate with animation, even if you don't have autopilot.
Right, it's definitely reassuring to see that the car is seeing things
exactly
accurately.
Here, I just have, once I actually turn it on, it will, let's see, there we go.
And
so,
yeah.
I've got little bubbles here, and it tells me it'll follow the car by two car lengths. But yeah, I don't actually know what the car is seeing. It's a really good call out, actually. Now, if I want to make a lane change too, I can turn my signal on, but now my steering is gone entirely.
Oh, so now you do it manually.
Exactly. But I don't love that there was no sound indicating that.
Yeah.
I should know that as the driver, but by the same token, if the car was previously helping me and now suddenly it's not, and now it is again. There was no noise.
Wow, that is weird.
So when I talked to the engineers on this program, they said that they had surveyed the employees that had access to the car, and that they felt the car made too many chimes, and so that's partly why they removed it.
That just seems like the wrong chime to remove.
Exactly. There's other chimes that the car makes, like for curve ahead or for school zone. And you can remove some of those with the settings, but I would think that might have played a part in maybe making the wrong decision as it relates to making the appropriate chimes.
Yeah.
Because even if I turn it off by cranking the wheel, which actually takes quite a bit of force.
Wait, it's not off yet?
So no, it's actually, you can still kind of play with it. You can still drive with it.
Wait, so it's still doing lane keep?
Yep. So that's different from autopilot. So I can steer it, and then it'll actually steer me back. Whereas autopilot would have turned off.
So could you actually change lanes with it? What would happen if you try and
So I'll change lanes without my blinker, and it turned off. Now lane keep is off. It turned off without any noise.
Oh wow.
And now it'll turn back on. Now it's back
automatically
on.
It turned on?
You can see there, it just turned back on.
You didn't have to engage anything?
Did not. Nope. I just kind of temporarily deactivated it for my aggressive maneuver without a blinker.
But there was no warning.
No
sounds
chime of any kind.
or anything. Wow.
No, only the visual, which again, when you're driving, you should be looking at the road, not at an animation.
Yeah, that should be a software update.
I would hope that they would, especially as you approach like a full self-driving, that they would improve the driver notification, that they would make it more clear when something's happening.
Oh, what's that sound?
That's curve ahead. So on my main screen there, I got curve ahead. It might be gone now.
Yeah, it's
But
gone.
yeah, it chimes for that, but it doesn't chime when it's not steering for me. It's obviously, again, my job to still drive, but
Yeah. So it wouldn't do this turn right here.
we can try it on another curve. It
Yeah.
does do curves pretty well, but yes, some curves that I've found are too sharp for it.
At that point, what does it do?
It just starts to drift over the lane line a bit, and there's no real alert for that. So I'll turn it back on. And once I get the bubbles, I'll know it's on. There we go. The bubbles showing. I now can kind of just rest my hand here as it is doing the majority of the
Well, what about the
steering.
hands-free stuff?
That's coming later.
Wait, but I thought it was like true hands-free. There were like cameras that look at
So
you.
there are here infrared light basically that should actually enable me to drive hands-free, but that's coming in Q3.
Oh.
Yep.
So not yet.
Yep. Blue Cruise is not yet available.
So what is this actually called?
This is effectively a couple features of CoPilot 360.
I see. And Blue Cruise is the hands-free
Yes.
feature. Yeah.
And that should hopefully, I believe they'll do that concurrently with the speed adjustments for curves, which it doesn't have.
What happens if you lift your butt off the seat?
If I lift my butt off the seat,
Yeah.
nothing happens.
Oh, it doesn't disengage.
What
about if
similarly for Tesla Autopilot?
Yeah, I know. What about if you unbuckle your seatbelt?
I will do that briefly. Oh, that's interesting.
Nothing happens. It's still.
That's
it's
interesting.
Still active.
Yeah, that's concerning. I would not recommend that ever.
Wow.
It's really interesting. I did not expect that. That's concerning. I mean, obviously this is meant to look at your eyes in the future, but right now, they could have that be a trigger, and it's not. I think the car recognized when my seatbelt was off.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says keep hands on the steering wheel.
It makes a chime, but it doesn't disengage autopilot.
Every time. So it knows. The car knows that I'm disengaging the seatbelt, which is incredibly dangerous and I do not recommend, but it doesn't deactivate or doesn't even...
Maybe it has to be off for like 5 seconds or something.
We're going slow enough.
Yeah.
I'm ready to take over. So I'm going to leave it off for a few seconds here. Again, I'm ready to take over. I'm in a safe environment.
No, it's not.
It's not doing anything. And I'm not really steering or on the pedals. I'm hovering my foot over the brake just in case.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's not a good sign. Alright, I'm gonna resecure that. Yeah, so this is the thing that surprises me the most, is it chimes right there, but everything's still activated. Curve ahead, that's separate. It's still got my adaptive cruise control.
That's insane. That's definitely not good. So do you think this version of autopilot is safer than Tesla's autopilot? How do you compare the two?
So yeah, Blue Cruise isn't quite available yet. This is more adaptive cruise control and lane keep. And my biggest gripe with it is honestly the sounds that it makes. It's just, sometimes it's very hard to hear. Actually, all the time it's very hard to hear. Here, it's giving me a warning in just a second because my hands aren't on the wheel. And that chime is just so quiet. And with Tesla, it gives you 3 strikes and you're out, and you have to actually put the car in park before, they actually recommend that you pull over and basically rest. Where this, I can hit as many strikes as I want. I can be as distracted as I want, as long as I just occasionally tap the wheel. And again, the audible chimes are just too quiet to really wake someone up or make them aware that they're really making a mistake.
Well, thanks so much for showing me how Cruise 360 works.
You bet.
Later.
Take care.
Okay, so I just got back from going on a little drive with Ryan from the Kilowatts, and he showed me CoPilot 360, and it actually works all right. It would be nice if the visuals were updated to actually show you what the car sees. It's definitely not as polished as Tesla's autopilot. One of the things that we noticed is you could raise yourself off the seat and there's no audible warnings. happens, the co-pilot doesn't disengage or anything like that. You can also unbuckle your seatbelt and it still doesn't disengage. What about if you unbuckle your seatbelt?
I will do that briefly. Oh, that's interesting.
Nothing happens. It's still.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's concerning. I would not recommend that ever.
And let's say I take off my seatbelt. Okay? So I was confused. I thought the car was autonomous. I can take off my seatbelt and get in the back. No, the car's not letting me. It tells me every single time you have to monitor. And when I took my seatbelt off, it stayed in the lane, but it slowed down and it stopped.
These are things that I think could definitely be updated and enhanced via software update, but definitely should be done ASAP because it's definitely a major risk. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you like this video, please gently tap that like button and I'll see you tomorrow.